Do I go? Do I not go? I don't know about you guys, but I'm constantly succumbing to the feeling of thinking I need to be everywhere all of the time. If I don't go, I could catch up on the piles of homework that are patiently awaiting my arrival, but if I do go, I could catch up with a great friend. This feeling is what we could define as the feeling of FOMO. According to Merriam-Webster, the definition of FOMO is the fear of missing out on an enjoyable activity or fun event, usually caused by posts seen on social media. We are currently living in the age of media. Everyone is posting where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, and for someone like myself who is chronically online, I would constantly feel that I just needed to be out there. But I want to introduce you to something that has reframed my outlook on social interaction and making time for myself. When I took that fear and I turned it into joy. Introducing JOMO. JOMO is the joy of missing out. See, by denying the feeling of FOMO and embracing the feeling of JOMO, I've made a discovery. I'm now able to recognize where this fear comes from, explore so many new interests and revisit old ones, and better my own mental health without the noise of the outside world. To start, I would like to go back to a time that I'm sure none of us ever wanted to revisit. It was March 13th, 2020. I remember that day so clearly. I don't know about you guys, but I was pumped. I could stay home, hang out with my family, and not worry about the piles of homework that would otherwise haunt me. But 2 weeks turned into a month turned into 3 days, and before I knew it, I wasn't sure if I was ever going back to school. So when social distancing mandates were lifted, I was so eager to be outside all of the time. I would see us every hangout, every extracurricular, every sporting event, any kind of social interaction I could get my hands on, I was there. And this wasn't the case just for me. All across America, teens were not able to meet their social needs. So they turned to social media for a connection. But see, the problem with social media is that it artificially highlights the joy or whimsy of other people's lives, which in return diminishes how we perceive ourselves. According to clinical psychologist Amy Sullivan, she states that the human experience is all about connection. So humans have the innate need to connect. But in the instance of someone with anxiety or depression, the majority of their connection may be seen through social media. Another thing I want to preface is that FOMO is a spectrum, right? It could range from something as small as, wow, I should have accepted that invite to that party. But it could also be something as serious as just because you put your phone on D&D or decline an invite somewhere, you're bombarded by these thoughts like, wow, you're actually a terrible person for taking time for yourself. Shame on you. And since the way that I initially used social media to keep up with everyone else became suffocating, I realized I had to take control. In 2020, during the few hours during the day where I would use my phone alone, I would use it to drown myself in my For You page. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with what a For You page is, it's a customized algorithm made just for you. So at this time, for some people it was cooking videos, other people dancing videos, but for me it was edits of Timothée Chalamet. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what does Timothée Chalamet have to do with the joy or the fear of missing out? Well, there was actually a flip of a switch in my brain. Soon, indulging in silly Timothée Chalamet edits turned into a genuine liking for his movies. And this led to an interest in movies directed by Luca Guadagnino, Sofia Coppola, and Wes Anderson. Soon, I realized I had a genuine interest for all things cinematography. This time that I would use to watch these movies was known as my alone time. But often we can see alone time as something that is unproductive. But what if I told you that this very alone time was a thing that ignited one of my very old hobbies? Like, really old hobbies. Now I spend my time hanging out with my friends and even logging movies on digital platforms like Letterboxd. We all have those hobbies that we don't tap into anymore because we feel as though we may not need to. By a show of hands, who has ever been at an event where your social battery is absolutely drained? Right. There's nothing worse than restricting your personality because you're just depleted, right? But you force yourself to be there because you're afraid of the feeling of FOMO. But in order to combat this feeling, it's important to realize how it shows up in our everyday lives. According to clinical psychologist Amy Sullivan, she states that FOMO has a direct link to anxiety and can be seen through physical symptoms like headaches, body aches, and even heart tensions. See, when we force ourselves to be present in these social settings, we are giving our anxiety what it wants. We are feeding our FOMO. It wants us to feel that time spent alone is time wasted. But I'm here to combat that notion. I know personally, when I recharge my social battery the way that I see fit, I'm so much more enjoyable to be around. No more constant checking of the phone to see what it would be like if you just skipped out or how much longer you had at this event. As I stated before, the human experience is all about connection and being around those you love. But the secret to making sure it isn't a chore? being content with being alone first. Who here has a class or meeting coming up that they just don't want to go to? By a show of hands. A lot of us, same. Now, I'm not here to tell you to set aside every obligation, but I want to try something. I want everyone to take out any device it is that you use to set reminders for yourself, whether that's your phone, your laptop, and you can go to your Google Calendars, Apple Calendars, Notes, whatever it may be. And I want you to set an intentional reminder any day from today, November 5th, to next week, November 12th. And I want you to set a reminder to do something that you love, alone. Thank you.